Hello everyone and welcome back to another edition of my video diarrhea, also known as my video blog. It's the 31st of October, so it's technically Halloween, although that's not really something that I celebrate, but if you do, happy Halloween to you. The main theme of my video blog this week is the fact that I've just been home for the weekend. It was quite a last minute decision. I got a phone call from my brother in the middle of last week, and he said that it was I have a niece that lives back home, and she was 7 on Saturday, and they were having a party for her, and of course, being her favourite uncle, I was invited. Originally, I didn't think I was going to be invited, because I live, a good 90 miles away, and it's not easy for me to get back, so I thought I was going to escape having to actually go. But because my brother formally invited me and told my niece that I was going, I didn't really have much choice but to go. And my brother had already spoken to my dad, and my dad had already agreed that he would come and pick me up. So again, there was very little I could do to get out of it. Which means I had to cancel all some plans I had in Nottingham. For the last few years, well, I think this would have been the 4th year in a row, I would have gone to the all-nighter that they have at Rock City in Nottingham. And if you don't know Rock City, you're missing out because it's one of the best rock venues that I've ever been to. It's kind of a spiritual home away from home for me because I've been to so many gigs there and so many nights out there over the years. Anyway, I missed out on a night out there with some friends to go home for this party, and the party was absolute garbage. I was told that the party wasn't until 4:30 in the afternoon, so I assumed I'd all day. I didn't go out and buy my niece's presents until like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I got a phone call at 1:45 asking where the hell I was because the party had already started. So I had to run back from town with the presents, wrap them really quickly, and I was over half an hour late to a party that only lasted 2 hours. Then when I got there, I was informed that I would be allowed to roller skate, which is cool. Come all this way, I want to roller skate. It was a roller skating party. Get up there, informed that I'm not allowed to roller skate. So I kind of just sat on the side with my sister, catching up and taking the piss out of anything and everyone, which is kind of what me and my sister do anyway. So yeah, it was a complete waste of time. I didn't spend any real time with my niece, who was far more interested in the roller skates, obviously. So it was kind of pointless. I'm thinking, well, I could be getting drunk right now. The party in Nottingham was supposed to start at midday at a friend's house, having a bit of a disco at his place. He'd already he'd taken photographs of his house as he'd sort of fitted it out for the Halloween thing, and it looked great. It looked like a proper Halloween party. So I missed out on that. I'm seriously pissed off I missed out on that. But it wasn't all bad. I got to do some decent things while I was home. I got very drunk and very stoned on Friday night. Went to a local gig, saw some people that I know, had a bit of a catch up. Hung out with Robin and Matt, who are like my 2 best friends back home. But the thing is, Robin and Matt don't get along, they never have. And because I was short of time that I was going to be home, if I wanted to see them both, I had to see them both at the same time, which is always a recipe for disaster. And it was, because they didn't get along at all, as per usual, and I spent the night caught in the middle, as per usual. But yeah, after Matt left, it was just Robin and I, and we went back to his place. I picked up a load more beer and another pack of cigars, and we went back to his house and got very, very stoned. And I was very, very drunk. I spent an absolute fortune on Friday night on cigars. I smoked 10 cigars on Friday night. Fuck knows how much weed I smoked. It was a lot anyway. And I was pretty drunk anyway because I'd been drinking a lot. But it was a good night. I did send some drunken/stoned text messages. I did send some drunken/stoned messages online, which were quite embarrassing. And I also had a couple of conversations with people that I barely remember. But yeah, it was embarrassing. But whatever. We've all done it. Maybe not the stoned part, but we've all done the drunk part. So yeah, that was That was the Friday night. It was decent. Saturday, I felt fine. I wasn't really hungover. But I had quite a lot of apologising to do for the drunken and stoned messaging that I'd been sending. So I did that, and then next thing it's the party, blah blah blah. My brother, just after he came back to our house because it was near the party venue with my niece. Now, I gave her a present there rather than at the party. And then as soon as he left, he sent me a text message within 2 minutes of leaving the house saying, "Do you want to go for a few beers tonight?" And he'll always use me as an excuse to get out of the house and go for a few drinks in town. So yeah, Saturday night, me and my brother hit the town, and yeah, once again I got very, very drunk. Far less embarrassing this time. Although we bumped into my sister's ex-boyfriend, who I'm friendly with anyway. I've been out with him a couple of times over the summer, and he was with his new girlfriend. I say new, I think they've been together like 3 or 4 weeks now. So I don't know if you'd class that as new, but I don't know. He was with my sister for 7 years, so to me, 4 weeks is still quite new. Anyway, I use this as an opportunity to meet this girl. And for some reason, I've never met the girl before, but she knew exactly who I was. Because as soon as I walked over to Luke, the girl, I have no idea what her name is. They did tell me, but I was very, very drunk at the time when I met her, so I can't remember. Turned around to her mother, who she was with, and said, "Oh no, that's Jane's brother." I'm like, alright, so she knows who I am. I had no idea who she was. And for the rest of the night then, whenever I saw them, she was very, very annoyed. I got talking to Luke because, Luke and I are friends. I've known him, he's almost been a part of the family for like 7 years now, so, I've always got on quite well with him, apart from that time I threw him downstairs. But, we got talking about things, catching up, etc., etc., and his girlfriend then gets very angry that he's ignoring her. And to be fair, he wasn't really ignoring her. He was just talking to me. She was sat with her mother chatting away anyway. So it's not as if he was actually physically ignoring her. She wasn't trying to speak to him, and he was just like blanking her. So this was ridiculous. And my other brother who I was with was like, "Come on, Evan, just leave him to it." I'm like, "Well, no, fuck off." Luke's been a friend of mine for 7 years. Luke's known this girl for 7 weeks. There's no way that she's going to dictate to me whether I can speak to him or not. In fact, if anything, the fact that she said no made me want to speak to him even more. I'm going to be honest, I'm that kind of person. So eventually she leaves, and he's like, "Well, I should go and catch up with her." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, fair enough, I'll catch up with you later." My brother and I finished the drink that we had in there, and we caught up with him in the next place. And again, she was not happy about it. This time, she storms off out of the place almost immediately this time. And I'm like, well, the bitch hasn't even gotten to know me. If she'd spent 5 minutes talking to me, she'd love me. Everybody loves me. That's the point. The only people that dislike me are the people that have never bothered to actually speak to me. If she'd spoken to me, she'd have found out I'm a delight. And so anyway, eventually I'm just like, "Look, go on, Luke, she's your girlfriend, I've got you into enough trouble, off you go." I send him on his way, him and his friend Mikey. About 10 minutes later, Mikey, Luke's friend, comes back in to the pub, laughing his arse off. And I'm like, "Well, what's so funny?" He goes, when we got to the next place, some girl accidentally bumped into Luke's girlfriend, and Luke's girlfriend flipped out and started smashing this girl in the face, like proper punching her. She gets kicked out of the pub, so Luke has to go with her. So it looks like, me being around Luke antagonised this girl so much that she goes to the next pub and starts punching someone. So I'm like, yeah, wow. And let me just say, right, she was really ugly as well. I know that's quite superficial, but I'm just pointing out the obvious here. She was really, really ugly, really unattractive, and she, from what I saw of her, she didn't even really appear to have a great personality either. Admittedly, I don't really know her, so I can't judge. But Luke can do so much better than that. Luke is actually a really good-looking guy, but he doesn't realise that he's good-looking, and he can't talk to girls either. He's terrible at talking to girls. I mean, the worst person in the world at talking to girls. So, I think I've mentioned that on my Tumblr before. So if you're a regular on my blog, I think you will know that already. So he always tends to end up with girls far below what he is actually capable of getting. My sister tries to justify it in the way that he doesn't really have much of a personality. And I'm like, well, to be fair, most of the conventionally good-looking girls I know don't really have much of a personality either. So surely he'd be suited for one of those girls. I just think it's a confidence thing. He doesn't realise. Anyway, this girl is quite a little bit younger than him. She's 18. So she's a good no, I'm not sure how old Luke is actually. He's been a part of my family that long, I still don't know how old he is. But anyway, he's quite a bit older than her. And she's a mother as well. She's a single mother. Luke is not ready to be a father, let alone a stepfather. No way. Apparently, his girlfriend's very sort of full on as well. Like, oh, I love you so much, Luke, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, they've been together 4 weeks at most. Really? And I think he sort of has a bit more of a casual attitude towards it than she does. But he earns good money. He's a single guy. He doesn't really have any overheads, and he earns a decent wage. He's only an electrician, but the work that he does, he gets a decent wage for it. So, he's quite cash rich. He's got plenty of cash at the moment. And a lot of people are saying that, it's kind of why she likes him around, because he's quite a boring guy. He's very dependable. He's easy to manipulate, which is why my sister was with him for so long, and why I'm friends with him, because he's very easy to manipulate. And people are worried that she's just sort of using him for the cash and the fact that he's very dependable. But again, I don't know. I don't really know the girl. But one of the weird things is that one of my older brothers went to school with her mother. So one of my older brothers is like the same age as her parents. I have a nephew her age as well. So I kind of think about it as like, well, Luke going out with someone my nephew's age. It feels kind of weird. Mind you, saying that, I went out with someone younger than my nephew, so I'm not really one to judge, am I? So yeah, that was Saturday night. I got very drunk, went home, did the usual talking to people drunk thing again. I didn't send any drunk text messages. I don't think though. I think I was quite good with that. And then yesterday I'd had a long day. I didn't do anything. I was supposed to go around and see Robin during the day, but I know he had a house full, as he usually does, because he has a lot of the local riffraff and stoners around there all the time, and it kind of winds me up because it's like I want to spend some time with him. Robin and I have been friends for longer than most of you viewers have been alive. So, we've been friends almost our entire lives, and I just want some time alone with him, but I never get it because there always has to be someone else around. And that kind of restricts us. There was maybe an opportunity for me to see somebody else while I was home. But again, if I wanted to see her, I'd have had to have done it with other people around. And I'm a bit selfish. I don't want to, there's very, very few people I miss when I'm away from home. But when I do go home and see them, I want to see just them. I don't want to have to share them with people. I'm very selfish that way. So I knew if I saw her, I'd have to share her with at least one of her friends. And again, that would restrict the way that we could speak to each other. It would restrict the conversation. It's just not the same, so I decided against it. It's probably a good idea and didn't see her anyway. So anyway, and then my sister turns around and tells me that next week, we're on Monday now, so a week today, she's going up to Scotland to visit our eldest brother who lives up there and our 2 youngest nieces that live up there with him. So I've invited myself along. I said, look, you can come up to Scarborough, drive up from Gainsborough, steer a bit to the right, come and pick me up from Scarborough, and then we'll go up to Scotland. She's not down for that because it would add an extra 200 odd miles onto her journey, so she's not up for that. She said, then originally I tried to convince her that she could pick me up from York on the way up there. But again, that still adds too many miles to her journey. So she said if I want to go with her, and I'm very welcome to join her, I have to go back home. So it looks like I will be travelling back home again next weekend so that I can travel back up with my sister to Scotland. I did look into the idea of getting a train up to Scotland instead from here, but we're still talking far more than it would cost for me to travel back home in order to get a lift up. So it looks like a week today I will be driving up to Scotland with my sister. for at least 3 or 4 days. As well as my brother and 2 youngest nieces up there, my eldest nephew, who's 18, lives in Glasgow as well, because he's at university there. So I should get an opportunity to see all of them. It's been a while since I've been to Scotland, so I'm kind of looking forward to it. It's been well over a year since I've seen my brother, and the elder of my 2 nieces that live up there, and the other niece that lives up there, I haven't met yet. She was only born in end of June. I think it was the end of June. Yeah, cause just before we finished our summer semester. So she was born in end of June, and I haven't met her yet. She hasn't met her favourite uncle yet, so I need to go up there. So yeah, that was kind of my weekend. I'm back in Scarborough now. I'm going to go to the gym in a bit, and then I'm going to veg out for the rest of the day and the rest of the week. I don't really have much on this week. I have no lectures for the next 6 weeks now, so it's kind of just do whatever I want. And good news is, student finance money isn't through yet, but it will be through in the next few days, and I get a hell of a lot more than I expected. My tuition fees are paid for, and let's see, I get over £6,000 paid to me. That's my money, £6,000. £3,000 from loan, £3,000 from grants, and then I get another £1,000 from the university as well, stretched over 2 payments. To be an independent student who doesn't have to rely on family-based income. Excellent. This is the first year that I've been that well off, so I don't even have to find a job now. I can literally be a bum, and it doesn't even matter. So I'm, just going to start my bumming out here. Just have a bit of a chill out here, and I'll leave you beautiful people to it. Leave comments, questions, etc. in the usual places. If you follow me on Tumblr, come and say hello. If not, I have a comments box. Message me on here, whatever. And I will speak to all of you lovelies next time.